Well, here we go. It's Friday night. Friday night, time for a nice cider. I've had a massive cider review, and now I'm going to test one that I haven't tried yet. It is Copperberg Blueberry. Blueberry and lime. Let's have a look in a clear glass, see what it looks like. Oh, look at that. Again, I'm not sexist, but it's very girly, isn't it? Very girly side of this. So it's almost the weekend, 29 days. It is the weekend, and it's 29 days to the football season starts. And Sunderland have only bought two players, two first team players at this moment in time, the right back and the new goalkeeper. So is anybody out there getting a bit concerned about the state of Sunderland Football Club at this moment in time? The takeover hasn't taken place. I've heard Donald and Metfin are having a bit of sort of, not so much a falling out, but disagreement. Because I think what I've heard is that Metfin wants to keep the club and doesn't want Donald to sell the shares. I think that's the way it's coming across on social media. Whether it's true or not, I'm not quite sure. But we haven't seen Metfin and Donald together in any interviews of late. They could be on holiday, abroad, in separate places with their families, we don't know. But when they were at Wembley, they weren't sitting together either. And people are getting worried we haven't got a good strike force. A very good strike force for the beginning of the season. How are we going to cope with a new season with two strikers? Two main strikers, as in Will Grigg. Will Grigg, 28 years old, and at Wigan, he played 133 matches, scored 53 goals. But at Sunderland last season, only 18 games and only 4 goals, because he was injured. Now we're going to have a fully fit Will Grigg on fire striker this season? Or is he going to flatter to deceive? I would like to think that we'll get the Will Grigg back. Let's face it, 28-year-old. A 28-year-old, you don't lose everything. You don't lose all your speed, all your strength, all your ability. You certainly don't lose your confidence, no matter what happens. All that happens with a good player at that age is they get an injury and they're not at 100%, so they're playing 80%. Let's hope Will Grigg was only at 80% last season. And the 100%. Will Grigg has been getting the good physiotherapy, the good training, the pre-season games coming up. We'll see what Will Grigg's made of, and hopefully he'll have a great season next season, because he is better than Charlie White. Charlie White, 26-year-old at Carlisle, 77 games, 32 goals. Then at Bradford, 56 games, 22 goals. At Sunderland, 24 games, 4 goals. But the same as Will Grigg, we have to give Charlie White the benefit of the doubt. He was injured for a while as well. A few injuries. So he may not have peaked to his full potential, but the injuries taken away the speed of Charlie White, because last season he didn't look very fast. He looked a bit clumsy. But again, with a good pre-season, a good friendly matches before the season starts, hopefully Charlie White will be 100% fully fit and raring to go. So we could have a strike force of Charlie White and Will Grigg, because at this moment in time, we're probably going to buy nobody else, have we? Let's face it. We haven't actually bought any players. We're getting players that have been released from other clubs at this moment in time. And even though a week ago, Lee Cattermole ripped up his contract, so we're not paying £40,000 a week for that. Is this money now going to be spent wisely, or is he going to keep that for a rainy day, or just not going to spend it whatsoever? Because they are basically, in football terms, I don't mean personal terms, there's people out there saying, I was a bit daft saying Donald was skint, but in football terms, he is skint. Can't afford to buy any players. Unless he proves me wrong next 29 days. But why are we leaving it so late? We should have players in already. Was he waiting for the takeover to be already done? Looks like it's fallen through. Someone said there's some baseball, some owner from a baseball team's now interested in buying Sunderland Football Club, another Yankee. We need some money to be invested in the club, otherwise we're going to have a mediocre season next season, this season coming up. I'm personally not worried at this moment in time, but if we lost the like of McGeady, likes of John McLaughlin, like Xavier Oviedo, and we don't replace them with quality players, the cupboard's going to be bare. Old Mother Hubbard, the cupboard will be bare. And we will be struggling. We'll be struggling to make it to the playoffs. Unless we have some really good youngsters coming through. Which we do have. We've got some, we've got Robson, we've got Mumba, we've got Benji. I mean, Benji hasn't signed a new contract now as Elliot Embleton, even though there's about 7 or 8 players who have signed in the 23s, the contract in the last couple of days. So, there's cause for concern. But the next 3 or 4 weeks will determine how well we will do next season. And what purchases we actually bring in. If there's a takeover bid. If Donald sells his shares. If he finds an investor who just wants to invest in Sunderland and not buy too many shares. We don't know. Is Juan Santoyo going to come back into the fold if it all falls apart in Uruguay? There's lots of ifs and buts, but we're leaving it late. We don't want to be bringing in players the last week or even the first week of the season and trying to bed these players in. We should be hitting the ground running 3 or 4 weeks in advance. Getting the squad blended together, getting them, the team morale up. Need to know each other. Play together pre-season. We're going to be leaving this too late again. So at this moment, it's 50-50. Copperberg. Blueberry and lime. It is quite nice, but it's like a pop. Like a pop. After this cider review, I'll probably only have 1 more left to do, and then I'll try something different. But it is like a cherry aid, isn't it? It's like a pop. You go to the shop, you buy a pop. That's what it looks like. Or you buy one of those daft fancy cocktails or something. That's what it looks like to me. It's not bad. It's not strong, 4%. It's all right. It tasted worse. It tasted a lot better. And what about other football teams? What about the North East teams? What about Newcastle? What's happened to Newcastle? Mike Ashley. Now, you Sunderland fans out there, would you have Mike Ashley as your owner? Rather than Ellis Short in the past? You think Mike Ashley's been a bad owner, or a good owner, or a mediocre owner? How can somebody so intelligent, so clever, do really well in business and make an absolute fortune, be this stupid in footballing terms? He could make a shitload of money with Newcastle. Surely. They've got no manager. The players have turned up pre-season, not motivated, not determined. You got Joe Bloggs in charge at this moment in time. They've sold Perez, who's one of the best strikers they had last season. So they've bought nobody in. So they're going to be exactly the same. I know! They're going to be exactly the same, in the same boat. They're not going to hit the ground running. They've got 28 days or 5 weeks to find players, to bed in, to blend together. They've got no manager. They've got no decent striker. And they're probably going to lose other players to boot. They're going to release players in the end of contract. So it doesn't look great. They'd be one of the favourites to be relegated from the Premier League next season if this takeover doesn't take place. And then we go to Middlesbrough. Jonathan Woodgate, the new manager. Is he going to be a good manager? Is he going to be a bad manager? The jury's out, simple as. In Middlesbrough, you don't want to be fucking buying John McLaughlin off Sunderland. If Sunderland sell John McLaughlin in Middlesbrough, there'll be absolutely fucking hell on. Fucking riots. Why should we sell our players to our noisy fucking neighbours from the Yorkshire? It's ridiculous. We should not be selling John McLaughlin this season for anything less than 20 million. And I don't give a shit what anybody says. I agree completely with what Jam Sani said the other day in his video. I was thinking exactly the same thoughts. There's no way we should be selling John McLaughlin. If we had John McLaughlin 2 seasons ago in the Championship, we may not have been relegated. That's what we needed, a good goalkeeper in the Premier League. After we sold Pickford and Manoni, and we got the likes of your Stales and your Camps and all that in. If we had the John McLaughlin then, we could possibly still be in the Championship. That's how good I rate John McLaughlin, at this level. And there's no way we should be selling him to Middlesbrough. There's no way Donald should even be thinking about selling him to Middlesbrough. Unless John McLaughlin stands up and says, boss, I don't want to be at Sunderland Football Club anymore. Sell me now, or, you won't get the 100% from John McLaughlin, which I very much doubt because he's a good professional, a good true professional. And I do have to believe he loves Sunderland Football Club and he's an asset to the club, full stop. So we should not be selling John. If somebody comes in for 20 million, fair enough. But anything less than 15, say no. We need our keeper. Simple as. I can't see Middlesbrough getting promoted next season. Possibly playoffs. I don't think Jonathan Woodgate's going to be, I think it's a sidestep. From Pulis to Woodgate, it's a sidestep. Is he going to be an up-and-coming manager? We have to give him his due. He just deserves it. He has to have a go. And my personal opinion is he probably... They'll be top half. Top 10. But I don't think they'll quite be good enough to make it back to the Premier League. Will Newcastle be relegated? Probably not. They've still got a good squad. They've got a good base there. But they'll be teetering, tottering along with the relegation battle. They'll be thereabouts. So they'll lose a few matches, win a few matches. They might lose more than they win, and the fans will be getting restless because, they'll be borderline on relegation again and be no trophies. The cupboard will be bare. Could possibly get relegated. But all the North East clubs at this moment in time are in turmoil. They really are. We are going through a bad stage at this moment in time. North East clubs. And what happens in the next month, for me, not so much for Middlesbrough, but for Newcastle and for Sunderland, what happens to those two clubs next month? It's massive. It'll have a massive effect on the next season. A massive effect. Enjoy your weekend, enjoy your Friday night. But believe me, I've got confidence in Will Grigg this season. A lot of people haven't got confidence in him. But if Will Grigg could do what he did last season, which wasn't very much, only at 75% with an injury, 100% Will Grigg must be on fire this season. And I believe Will Grigg will be on fire. And I'll catch you next time. Enjoy your weekend and have yourself a nice drink if you're over 18. If you're not, have a shandy. Or a Dr. Pepper. I'll catch you later.